Welcome everyone to our We Speak show here on our AFAA channel. My name is Katrina Pilkington and Happy New Year, Happy 2021 as we kick off this show with our first episode of the new year as I join my colleague and partner in crime, Jay Guillory. Oh no, I'm number one. And we have this witty banter back and forth, so if not used to it by now, you will be after this episode. We are going to be talking today about kicking off the new year with some business tips as group fitness professionals and group fitness instructors. We want to help everyone out there who's in this virtual space with social distance and kind of this uncertainty continue to build momentum as we move forward in 2021 with our fitness careers and our fitness purpose in our communities. So Jay and I are going to discuss some topics related to business tips and maybe some ideas for folks to think about when it comes to how to keep that momentum going and not remain stagnant as we are still stuck in the world of technology in a good way, right?
We're here.
I mean, we're in a box kind of, but we're here and we're alive. That's all that matters. And it's better than having no connectivity, right?
Absolutely.
So I know Jay and myself do a lot of international, global, national, interactive virtual teaching and work. And, it's taken a lot of trial and error and a lot of understanding how to navigate this space, but it can be done. And it is important for us to keep being there for our community, even if it's through a screen or through virtual means, because our community still needs us as a bigger part of their health journey. What do you think, Jay?
I absolutely agree. One of the things that I did, I think I said on one of the Wednesday show that I host is that I'm talking to people who I probably would have never gotten an opportunity to speak with. Like I've spoken to group fitness instructors in New Zealand, group fitness instructors in India, in Italy. And I think it's almost like the world has gotten a little bit smaller because of the situation that we're in right now. So I think we're now starting to use social media to its full extent,
right,
in terms of how we interact with each other. And I think that's pretty cool because it's nice getting to know members of our AFAA community.
Right.
That are not on this plot of land, they're on other plots of land.
Right.
What's happening here?
And we're still understanding, even though people like me right now have landscapers outside and some of us have kids running around. I feel like it's given us all a chance to have a little bit more an authentic relatability with one another because we're not the only ones with kids or family members or living on top of one another, stuck in the house. And you are able to be a captive audience with one another. So maybe that's the first topic we can hit is, in order to move your business, a big thing for me to think about is who do I surround myself with? Because I truly do believe iron sharpens iron. So using this time to network and build your circle of influence as a fitness professional, because you have people through DM on Instagram, through email, through their websites, still being very communicative, especially now because we're not traveling as much, we're not going as many places. So, I'm sure that you agree that building your own fitness network is a great way to move your business forward this year.
Absolutely. And then it gives you an opportunity to get ideas of what you could do, things that other people may be doing that you haven't even thought of. Because for me, even at work, I would have to tell you, I'm very big on collaborations. And I think talking to other people just brings more ideas to the table. So I think when you do that through social media with your fitness influencers and your the people that you follow, the people that follow you, some of the other instructors around, I think you get a lot more information in terms of looking at fitness as a whole. And then you can make better decisions on how to move your business forward.
Right. Absolutely. And I always talk about this when I teach different workshops is there's a difference between a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. So if you're somebody with a fixed mindset, and it can be very easy to be someone like us who've been master instructors, master educators and such in the industry to be fixed thinking, okay, I've done A, B, and C. I've hit this mark in my career. I'm good to go. I'm just going to keep pushing in this avenue, but you have to remember to keep yourself in a growth mindset. So you understand that you're not done learning, that you don't want to be closed off to opportunities and that you can learn from others, whether they're younger than you, older than you, in the same industry as you, in a different arena as you, that you can really grow and learn as long as you remain open to growing and learning and not thinking, okay, I'm done. That's it. Hit my mark.
Right. I think one of the things is you can look at it in two different ways. You can look at it and say, I can start to reach out to people and increase the amount of people that I talk to and that I see. Or you can look at it, I can fine tune a lot of the things that I'm doing with the individuals that I already work with. And then from that, they will start to tell more people about what you do, how you do it, what you're into. So I think it's a growth mindset either way it goes. You just have to be open to the growth.
Right. Absolutely. And I've seen this with myself and other instructors, that growing your own personal circle of influence when it comes to your professional work with the fitness industry, with other instructors, trainers, educators, helps you amplify one another. So I've shared content and shared, classes that other folks are teaching that are in my circle, and they do the same thing for me. We continue to amplify one another and continue to use each other's reach, versus just living in our one little tunnel of reach and not seeing the opportunity to grow through someone else's circle of influence and keep that building from there.
Right. And I would have to say one of the good points about the circle of influence is the simple fact that I think that when you think of your circle of influence, just like in life, you have to make sure that your circle of influence just is very wide ranged in its dynamic. So you talk to the brand new people in the fitness industry, and you talk to the veterans in the fitness industry. That kind of takes you across a lot of different decades of people who've been doing this. You think about ethnicities. You talk about like I had an opportunity to talk to Zumba instructors in India, which was freaking phenomenal because
which we will next week. Fun.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So it's kind of like it's so awesome because we don't get like I would have never been up like even in an area in order to do that if this had not happened. So that whole circle of influence thing is like when you think about the circle of influence, it's kind of like you look at like what you're doing and just change variables in it. Change variables.
Yeah. Be open to learning from those most different from you, and be open to understanding that yes, we're a fitness industry, but globally, nationally, we have a lot of differences that can actually elevate our business to shift our perspective. Because you can really get stuck in a tunnel and not realize that, okay, maybe I'm not able to reach this part of my demographic because I'm not even being open to that type of experience from that human. And going along with that, to transition to another topic, Jay, I wanted to talk about, I see a lot of this new year, new you, these goals of losing the quarantine 15 and get lean with me in my classes. And for me personally, and I'm sure you can touch on this too, I want folks to be open to thinking about not being so focused on performative and aesthetic type results in their students and their clients, and getting more of a feel for overall holistic wellness and health. And that includes mental health, and seeing fitness as an avenue of support, and not just looking at the traditional diet culture type classes and those different places we've lived in this industry.
Right. It's the January resolution thing. That's what I call it. The January resolution thing. And it's kind of like, but it's so 1990. It's like in 2020, like we have to take a different approach to how we look at the start of a new year, because this doesn't necessarily have to start with the start of a new year. I'm like, if it's, I don't know, February 14th and you want to decide to do this, you can.
Right.
But in that same respect, it's like, and even if you do decide to start this at the beginning of a new year, I think for a lot of people, what happens is they set these goals and these parameters that they don't really check in with every so often. Right. And then they become and they're unattainable. They're just like, okay, by this certain date, and it's like, come on, really?
Right.
I would much rather see a lot of people take small chunks. Like, you know what? What I'm going to attack in January is I'm just going to increase my water intake daily, because I know I'm not drinking enough water. I'm going to increase my water intake daily, and just work with that for a while, as opposed to biting off 6 slices of pizza and then only being successful with the first 2.
Absolutely. I was reading an article actually about the difference between virtually being a fitness professional and being a fitness professional in person as a trainer and instructor, and looking at yourself as more of a coach when you're online, because you can't necessarily physically, change somebody's form or coach them as you would in-house. So looking at yourself as a coach, and I believe that you can still stay in your scope of practice as a group fitness instructor or trainer and still make an impact on someone's health by giving small bits of information that are within your realm of professional skill. And also, like you said, give them accountability. Check in frequently with your students. Don't just be there to teach a class at 9 a.m. on Wednesday morning. which you wouldn't do because we have our show at this time. But whenever you're teaching your class, be sure to understand that you're also checking in with them. You're an accountability partner. You're a coach. You're not just an instructor. So what can you do to move your business forward to show folks, hey, I'm not just teaching you for this hour or 30 minutes. I'm also here to help you with your goals so that you can be wholly well.
I would have to agree with that, because I think one of the things that you said is this is the time, especially when we're doing so much virtual work. This is the time when instructors get to hone in their coaching skills. I think this is one of the times when people can actually be like, okay, I can't be there with people in person. So now I really have to change my thought process and how I speak to them in terms of what exercises they're doing, what recommendations I'm going to make, because it's different. It's just different.
Right. And you going along with that, with the same article, it's not being assumptory and assuming you know what your clients or students want, assuming you are doing things the right way, maybe asking for feedback, like I've discussed in another episode, getting some input from your students and clients to say, what would you like this year? What can we do as a collective community to help move you forward with your goals? What information are you looking for? And that also then ties into that circle of influence, right, Jay? Like, if you're not someone who's a nutritionist or a registered dietitian or a personal trainer yourself as an instructor, who can you get to have in your wheelhouse to show your clients and students, I have a circle of care. I might not have all the answers to the questions you have for me, but I know this person, this person, and this person.
Right. Absolutely. Build your network. It's a time to build your network, because like you said, we are not the know-all, end-all, be-all as group fitness instructors and personal trainers. So we do have to make sure that we stay inside of our scope. But at the same time, it gives us an opportunity to learn a little bit about other people's scope of practice and how they can best help us, or how we can best help each other in helping our clients all achieve their goals.
Right. And not to be a shameless plug, but Jay has a great piece on the AFAA blog about tips for teaching group fitness, especially like in this space. And I have just done one about that circle of care mentality of saying, okay, I don't want to be a jack of all trades and master of none. I want to focus my mastery in this niche, in this arena for fitness. But I have these other humans in my circle who are going to be able to help me care for this group of humans that I train and coach and teach. And we're going to do it within our scope of physical and professional practice. And along with that, now transitioning to another topic, a lot of folks ask us about what we do. So Jay and I are both AFAA master instructors. We've led workshops, teaching others about skills and expanding upon, when you start out as a fitness professional, how do I transition my career? And I think that's something for folks to think about right now. Like, are you an instructor because you want to be, or are there other parts of your learning and education that you can dive into right now? Reading books,
Exactly. My fitness journey has been pretty awesome. Like, I started off just teaching group fitness. Then I got smart and said I needed to do personal training because there was no way I could teach 40 hours a week. And then I just got the bug of, okay, how does this whole industry work? So, right now, 22 years later, I am now the director of fitness so I oversee group fitness and personal training, spa services at a country club. So it's been pretty amazing. I've presented at conventions. I've been an AFAA master instructor. Wow.
You've been around the block.
Since,
for lack of a better term.
It was a very big block.
Long way.
I've been able to do program development for AFAA. I've been able to write, co-author the most recent certified indoor cycling. So it's been pretty cool. And you got me into this whole blog writing thing. So I do that too.
Trust your purpose. I mean, I've always learned, especially in the virtual space, and for those that follow me on social media know that I've kind of done this starting in my own personal wellness journey, but I've learned to take the skills and such that you're good at, but translate them into other means of doing this as a career, whether it's writing, whether it's, doing content for different corporations or companies or even brands, or working together with your colleagues to see what other different avenues you could do in that arena. Again, using your circle of influence. That's going to be the biggest takeaway from today, is expand your circle. For those that are watching and want to comment, let us know how you're doing that. But you can expand your career, not necessarily by watching what everybody else is doing and trying to replicate, but finding what you're good at and finding what you're passionate about, and really honing in on, are there opportunities in that arena? And if so, you need to dig and do some research.
And if you choose to do something, or if you choose to pick one specific thing, I think you can go into that one specific thing, and then you can build branches off of that. So,
Right.
like for instance, if what you like to, if kickboxing is your class of choice that you like to teach, it's like, okay, so you teach kickboxing workshops, you teach kickboxing classes, then you should start writing kickboxing articles, and you should start just building what you
Right.
do in that specific realm.
Right.
That way, you have various
Right.
opportunities to make income still based off of one thing.
Right.
Me, for instance, I just chose to learn how to do a lot of stuff because
Same.
not all at the same time, but there was a time when all I did was just be a group fitness director, and then all I did was be a personal training director.
Right.
So I think it's one of those things where you kind of have to look at the fitness industry as a whole and realize, which is almost kind of hard to do when you're just getting into the industry, that teaching 40 hours a week is never going to happen.
No, physically it won't. It just won't.
Yeah.
I'm learning that
It's
this year.
like you have to learn how to take care of yourself. And I think it's one of those things, like, for a long time, group fitness has not been looked at as something that people did as a career path.
Right.
And so with that being said, I think a lot of it has to do with you understanding that you have to take care of yourself. And that's when I decided to say, okay, so what are the full-time positions that I can actually go into that will allow me to take care of me,
right,
to make sure I have health insurance, and to make sure I have, all the other perks of having a full-time job, but still be creative on the side. So I was always an AFAA master instructor, and that allowed me that creative thing for me to go out on the weekends and do my workshops. But I always had this, a stable job to come back to that was still in the fitness industry, that still allowed me to do my passion.
Yeah, that you hit the nail on the head. The goal I was trying to push there is the word creativity. Like, don't think you need to do what everybody else is doing. Folks message me all the time asking me how I got here. And I'm like, okay, well, I do A, B, and C, and I like doing A, B, and C because I like to be there for my 4-year-old and my family for right now because I'm a full-time student. But in 5 years, that's going to change. So doing assessments constantly to say, okay, am I where I want to be career-wise? If I'm not, here's the things I need to do to either develop my skills, expand my circle, learn a little bit, using tutorials even online. You don't necessarily have to pay for continuing education if it's not in your wheelhouse, but I know that NASM and AFAA both offer free courses. We have some of our free mini course content scrolling at the bottom, but we offer free courses so that you can continue to develop your knowledge and then figure out where does that fit into the niche that you have in this industry so that the space you occupy is unique to you. You're each human and individual folks who contribute to our industry, but we need to keep it that way so that we keep diversifying our careers, but not doing the same thing that everybody else is doing.
Right, because I almost look at your career path and what you decide to do as the way we create choreography in self-designed classes. It's kind of like you have to know what the end choreography block is going to be. So in your building pattern, you know what you need to be doing.
Right.
So in your career, it's kind of like you have to know what your end game is. Then that way you can start to make the right choices and the right decisions and the right things that you know you need to do to get to the end game. Because if you don't know where you're going to end up, or you have no idea what you want to do at the end of the day, then everything you're doing is kind of random. And like you said, you end up being good at a whole bunch of stuff, but not a master of nothing.
Right.
So, yeah. So I would always say kind of figure out, where you want to go, and then start to make the decisions and the movements to get you to that place.
Right. And it's not cheesy to do a vision board. I mean, I actually went to school for art first. So those that don't know, I actually have an art degree. Didn't really use it, but I'm very creative. But sometimes I like to make physical vision boards, whether it's cutting through magazines or doing it on a computer. But it could be a brain dump. It could just be taking a piece of paper and writing down words that resonate with what you want to do in this space. If you want to delve into nutrition, like I did, if you want to delve back into teaching a certain population in fitness because that population is very close to your heart, do that. But you have to take the time to check in with yourself, check in with your goals, and make sure that what you're doing is leading you in that space and that direction versus doing what you've always done. Because what's the definition of insanity? Like doing the same thing you've always done and expecting a different result.
Exactly. But I think, but I think one of the things to take away, if you don't take away anything, is always know that it is okay to change your goal whenever you want to.
Absolutely. Do you, And just know that, we're here as a community. We're here, whether it's online or through the blog. You can constantly check in with us. I understand that many folks are working during these hours. So if you want to type in the comments later on after you watch this, if it's not live, we'll try the best we can to engage and be there as your AFA community. But don't forget to check out Jay's show. Do you want to do your little plug, Jay?
Oh, it's a brunch, baby. It's a brunch. It's called the Group Fit Brunch on Thursdays on the AFA Instagram. And the Instagram handle is at AFA_certified. And it's every Thursday at noon East Coast time.
Yeah, and it's fun because you can check in. I mean, sometimes I'm with my little one or I'm exercising and I'm like, hey, Jay, and I just type a comment. But if you want to join Jay and have a little bit of dialogue, even if it's just for a couple of minutes, do so. Get creative. Use little bits of time during your day to keep filling your cup by joining us in our community. And also stay tuned. Next week, I will be speaking with our AFA India colleagues about the global perspective of fitness and what fitness and wellness.
Is Natalie going to be on?
Maybe.
She's like, maybe.
Maybe. That's what Jay and I have done. We're like, we were meeting so many cool people. We're going to make sure we bring them on the show because our AFA family is much bigger than I'm sure many of you can imagine. So just make sure to tune in, and whether it's live or not, we want to hear your commentary and be connected to you. And we appreciate you joining us in this space that we occupy here. Any other last commentary, friend?
Not really. I think you're good.
Drop the mic. Have a great, wonderful rest of your Wednesday, and we will be talking to you all next week here on We Speak. Thank you.